Hey everyone, it's Joy here. Welcome back to my channel. I feel like it's been a minute since I've made a video and I apologize for that. I've been so exhausted and I had to work a lot before I went out of town to a crafting thing, but now I'm back, so we'll get to all these great videos. I'm using the April Club Kits from Spellbinders. I use the 3D embossing folder and the Glimmer Kit of the month. So here's that embossing folder. It's so fun. And then of course we have our Glimmer Kit with a coordinating die and a couple of sentiments. I want to start with a background. So this is a really simple background and I just went on this fun craft retreat. I was inspired by Carissa Wiley. She was making some really pretty cards with just simple stripes and she used pattern paper, not pattern paper, excuse me, colored cardstock, but I'm going to be using some ink blending. So I've got my mint tape from scrapbook.com and the colors that I'm using are Bundled Sage, Speckled Egg, and Saltwater Taffy. So I definitely wanted to bring in the spring vibes, but really kind of toned down. I feel like these colors aren't bright, but they're so, so pretty. So I have my first stripe, and I'm sorry my head's in the way. I'm adding my mint tape over that Bundled Sage, adding another piece of tape. So now I'm creating a new stripe. I will add the Speckled Egg. And you saw that I wiped off my tape. I didn't want to cross-contaminate my colors if any of that ink was just kind of floating on top of the tape. I decided to... I'm taping over the blue Speckled Egg, but I am going to leave a white area. So I'm gonna move it up and my head is in the way. I'm so sorry, you guys. I really had to see what I was doing. And I am using the grid on my work surface. So I moved my tape up above the Speckled Egg, leaving a white stripe, and now I'm creating my Saltwater Taffy stripe. So when I peel this back, you guys can see exactly what I did. Super simple, but this is my favorite card out of, I mean, they're both gorgeous, but this is my favorite. I just absolutely love it. I can clean up my work surface and then I want to work on the background using the 3D embossing folder for April 2023. I'm using the same colors of ink and I'm swiping my ink pad across, letting the colors kind of blend together. This is on the debossed side, so the flat side, not where you can feel the bumps of the images. Then I'm going to put my piece of A2 size white cardstock in, close that down, and I'm going to make sure my paper doesn't slide around, and then I can run that through my die cut machine. And I'm using the new, well, it's newer, the black Platinum 6. This is an exclusive with scrapbook.com and Spellbinders. But you can see I missed a little bit of color on that blue on the Speckled Egg. But that's where I'm going to put my sentiment, and it was totally fine. I did not feel the need to do it over because it's kind of one of those imperfect things. And I love that the colors in the background and all of the beautiful other images are from your white cardstock. Okay, let's foil. I'm using blush foil, and we have the Glimmer Kit of the month for April 2023. I'm heating that up, and I'm heating up the 2 sentiments because I want 1 sentiment for each card. And while that's getting hot, I wanted to tell you that the coordinating die for the Glimmer Kit cuts out part of the leaf. So I'm not going to be using that whole leaf image. I am just going to use the leaves that get die cut, if that makes sense. So here's that beautiful black die cut machine, and you get pink plates and you get a black tool in one. So it's pretty darn awesome. So I ran that through nice and slow. I can take my plates and shims off. I had a ton of overfoiling, so thankfully I wasn't trying to make this as a whole sheet because I had extra shims in there that I forgot to remove last time. It doesn't matter. I am going to be using just some of the leaves and I'm trimming out those sentiments anyways, so it is so not a big deal. So let's trim out the sentiments. I want to get those out of the way first, and then I can do my die cutting. So I'm using my Tim Holtz paper trimmer, getting my sentiments trimmed out. Super, super easy. Or if you have like sentiment dies or whatever, you could trim that out that way too. And Spellbinders definitely has those. I didn't even think about pulling them out. And I just was this was my original idea for the card to keep it this way, but I opted to turn it. And I like what I did with it the second way. Now let's use these coordinating dies to die cut out these leaves, and I can tape that in place, making sure I'm not taping over the foil, because your tape, even if it's low tack, can remove some of your foil that you've already done. Then I'm running that through the die cut machine, and now we've got these great leaves. I'm only going to put these leaves on one card, on this card here, so I used all of them that I die cut. And I was seeing if it fit somewhere else, but it didn't. Let's add some foam sticky strips behind the leaves. At first I wasn't sure if I wanted all of them popped up with foam tape, but I decided to do that, and I did. And then I had to trim this card panel down because apparently I trimmed it really funny, and it wasn't going to fit. It was going to fit weird on my A2 size card. So the bottom leaf ended up having some of it trimmed off, but it totally worked out fine. So adding a little bit of that foam adhesive strip, using my reverse tweezers to put that in place, and I'm tucking the stems under the other leaves so it just kind of looks like they're falling or hanging, however it is you want to, you feel like it looks like. I also will add some foam tape behind my sentiment because you guys know how I am, and I just need for that to have some dimension. Not always, but probably 99% of the time. And these foam sticky strips, I'm so in love with these. These are from scrapbook.com as well. And man, they are so easy to use. I love them, especially for sentiments, because I was using bigger foam adhesive, which is great, but I was trimming it down, and this just saves so much time. So now that that's in place, we can add the other sentiment to our embossed background. So you can see that area where I didn't get the best of the inking, but it totally is a perfect spot for my sentiment, so I did not overthink it, and I think it fit perfect. I will adhere these to white A2 size card bases. I did trim this panel down slightly, and like I said, the other panel was trimmed down slightly, or I had to trim it down a little more because apparently it was a odd shaped piece of cardstock that I thought was like A2 sized, but it wasn't. Let me straighten out that sentiment, and then we can add a few sequence to that here in just a second. But this is when I was like, what the heck happened to my card panel? I'm like, let me think about it. So I trimmed it down, and I think I had to trim it down again, but it was totally fine. I moved that little leaf towards the bottom, and I was just able to trim some of the excess off that hung over. But now I got it to fit, so it totally worked. I did not need to panic, so I'm going to trim that off and then adhere that to my white A2 size card base. You guys, these cards came together so quick, but I think they're so pretty, and I really love the white space on this background. I am not going to add sequins. I am using, of course, my Gold Fever confetti from Studio Katia. This is my favorite. And are you guys shocked that I did not use aura foil for my glimmer kit? I used blush, and I believe that's what came in the kit. So I'm going to add those to this background, and then let's take a look at these up close. And remember, guys, I have everything listed and linked for you below, but look at how pretty that embossing folder is. And then all of this foil on this background and the foiled sentiment, I just love it, and the leaves. And then I realized it was crooked because, you know, I can't adhere anything down straight to save my life. But look at how pretty that is. Okay, guys, thanks so much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you enjoyed these projects, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will be back soon with another video. Bye.